All right, welcome to practice. Go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. So you might be sitting cross-legged, you might be sitting in another way, but just find what feels like a comfortable seat for you today. And then allow your eyes to close as you start to check in with your body. And so sometimes when you get on the mat, you might have a lot of energy or you might have a lot of emotion that needs to be processed through movement. So just check in not only with how your body is feeling in terms of energy, but also what thoughts and emotions are present for you right now. What are you processing? And then into the field of awareness of these things that are going on in your body, start to invite in a slightly deeper breath. So that as you're breathing, your breath is kind of something that merges and joins your body, your mind. And so as you're breathing in and out, allow the breath to kind of slow down and become a little bit deeper. And feel into the ways in which your breath moves the body. So where are you finding more space as you breathe in? And where are you softening and landing as you breathe out? And so various times throughout the practice, notice the impact of the inhale and notice the impact of the exhale. All right, and then with this awareness, now we'll take our palms together in front of the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. Start to reach up through one hand up through the other side, left and right a few times. Just give a gentle tug on your fingers. All right, release the hands, take them behind your back. Interlace the fingers there as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Your elbows might stay bent here, or you might start to straighten out the arms. But organize the arms in a way that gives you a sense of spaciousness, of openness across your heart and across the fronts of your shoulders. And then adding to that, just allow the head some gentle movement, turning side to side. Notice what it feels like to turn the head today. All right, and then reach the chin up. And drop it down toward your chest. Again, lifting up. And dropping down. All right, one more time, lifting. And dropping. All right, bring your head back up, release your hands, let them rest on your thighs, and then shrug your shoulders up toward your ears, move them back and down. We'll do that a few times, shrugging up, back, and down, and then once more up, back, and down. All right, we'll change the seated position just a little bit. So take your right leg out at an angle, and it can be at whatever angle is comfortable for your hips. And then just start to walk your right hand down your right leg. So you start to feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of that right leg. And then start to move your left shoulder back in space so that you can look out over your left shoulder and then sweep your left arm up alongside your head. And as you reach with that left hand, start to squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through your wrist a few times each way. All right, the next time you breathe in, lift up. And as you breathe out, let that left hand now come to the floor behind you. Take the right hand over to the left knee, and then inhale, grow tall, lifting up through the top of the head, strengthening that straighter leg, and then exhale, twisting to the left. Turn your head to look back, and then turn your head back over towards the right, perhaps spotting your right big toe. And then just keep the head slowly turning. Perhaps you move with your breath, slowing down the movement to match the speed of your breath. Keep the head gently turning side to side to its capacity. Relax your facial muscles, your jaw. All right, begin to release rotation from your head and neck, your shoulders, and the rest of the torso as you untwist back to center. And then we'll switch the legs. So take your left leg out to the side, fold that right leg in, and then we'll walk the left hand down the left leg just a little bit here. Move the right shoulder back in space, again, looking out over the right shoulder, and then sweep your right arm up alongside your head. Squeeze and release the fingers of that upper hand, as well as rotate through the wrist a few times each way. All right, with your next inhale, lift up. And exhale the right hand to the floor behind you. Cross your left hand over to that right knee. Inhale, lift tall. Strengthen your straight leg. Exhale and twist to the right. Turn the head to look back. And then turn just the head back over toward the left. Maybe spotting your left big toe. And then keep the head slowly turning. Noticing and feeling sensation in the body. Perhaps slowing your movement down to match the speed of your breath. Inhaling as your head turns one direction and exhaling as your head turns the opposite way. Just navigating your natural range of motion in terms of neck rotation. Take another couple of breaths. All right, ease your head and neck back to center, followed by your shoulders and the rest of your torso. Now we'll transition onto hands and knees. And as you bring yourself onto hands and knees, take your hands under your shoulders. And we'll start with the knees pretty close together. And then lift your left knee up and out to the side and start to rotate through your hip so that your left knee is now drawing a big circle in space. Try to create the motion from your hip. So try not to move the spine any more than you have to create the motion. All right, change direction, same leg. Just go the opposite way. All right, now the next time you breathe in, reach your left foot straight back behind you. Exhale, pull the left knee in toward your chest and round your back. Again, inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. So as you take your left leg back this time, cross it over the right leg, drop the toes. Curve your spine to the right so you're peeking back at that left foot, creating a little bit of a side bend on the left side of the body. Of course, the right side is bending too, just differently. Sensing all the way up the left side of the body here. All right, bring your torso back to neutral. Pick your left leg back up and then step your left foot forward to your left hand. All right, lift your torso up. So you've got your left knee pretty much over the ankle, thereabouts, and right hip over the knee. All right, take your right hand to your left knee, and then sweep the left hand forward and up, and back, and down. Rotating a few times through the left shoulder. Being present for that sensation, but also the sensation of twisting the spine, and then untwisting. What does it feel like to inhale as you move in this way? Where do you sense expansion? And what does it feel like to exhale here? Where does the body soften or land into a sense of being grounded? All right, now the next time you take your left arm back, go ahead and stay in the twist. Turn your head to look back towards your left hand. Turn the palm up. All right, one more round of breath. All right, sweep the left hand forward. Take both hands to the floor. Step forward into a forward fold. And as you're folding over your legs, bend one knee, let the opposite leg straighten, just shift back and forth a few times. You might take your hands to your ankles or your elbows, or let your hands rest on the floor if they come to the floor. But just focus on what you're feeling in the backs of the legs. Release the weight of your head. You can shake it yes and no. All right, then we'll walk our hands up the fronts of the legs, rising up to stand gradually. Take the feet about hip distance apart. So they could be wider, they could be closer together, but around hip distance. And then as you breathe in, push your hips back, bend your knees, float your arms up as you come into chair pose. Now pause here as you shift weight back towards your heels. So relax the toes. And then as you next exhale, press into your feet, rise up, straighten your legs, release the arms, but reach back in space. So you're opening up across the chest like we did seated with our fingers interlaced behind the back. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale, find your chair pose, hips back, little bend in the knees, arms come up. Exhale, rise to stand, reach back, open up across the chest. All right, one more, breathing in. This time as you exhale, fold forward. Take your hands to the floor, walk your feet back. We'll come into downward facing dog. So your hips are up. Sensing into the backs of the legs, the feet, the ankles. All right, release down to your knees. Untuck your toes and sit back towards your feet. Now, as you fold over your legs here, your knees might be close together. You might take your knees wide apart so that you have a little more space to breathe. We'll once again check in with what does it feel like to breathe in this position? Where do you sense the expansive quality of that inhale? And as you exhale, where do you feel the sense of softening, melting, landing? All right, one more round of breath. Come on back up onto hands and knees. Take your knees back together. We'll do the right side. So lift your right knee up and out to the side. Start to rotate through your hip, letting your knee draw a big circle. Remembering, try to localize the movement in your hip rather than moving your spine or bending your elbows. Just really bring the movement into your leg and hip. All right, change directions. Same right leg, just do the opposite direction. All right, the next time you breathe in, reach your right foot back. Exhale, pull your right knee into your chest and round your back. Again, inhale, reach back. Exhale, knee into the chest. One more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. So as you take your right leg back this time, cross it over the left leg, drop your toes, and then curve your spine over to the left so you're peeking back at your right foot. Again, sensing all the way up the right side of the body as you find space there. All right, as you bring your torso back to neutral, pick the right foot up, step it forward to your right hand. Again, we're finding a short lunge as we lift the torso up. Front knee roughly over the ankle, back hip over the knee. Take your left hand across to the right knee, and then sweep the right hand forward, up, back, and down. Again, as you're rotating here, there's sensation in the shoulder, yes, but also the feeling of the torso twisting and untwisting. Connecting with all the little movements and sensations that are present here. All right, so the next time that you take your right arm back, go ahead and pause in your twist. Turn your palm to face up, looking back at the right hand. Relax the face and jaw. All right, bring your right hand forward. Both hands to the floor, step forward. Back into that forward fold. The second time in the forward fold, take your feet a different distance apart. So either experiment with taking your feet wider than they were or closer together than they were. The point is to do it differently, so take your feet a different distance apart. Release the weight of the head. Again, face and jaw can soften here. Shift the weight to one foot, then the other. Bend one knee, straighten the opposite leg. Hands can grab ankles, elbows, the floor, blocks if you have them. All right, once again, walking the hands up the fronts of the legs. As we come to stand this time, we'll do the backward shrug of the shoulders. So take your shoulders back in space and then up and forward. Back, up, and forward. And then one more back, up, and forward. All right, so we'll do breath of joy. In this breathing practice, we breathe in 3 times, out 1 time. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you're breathing in those 3 times, you'll take arms forward, out, up. And then as you exhale, you'll bend your knees, sweep your arms back, exhaling out the mouth. So it looks like this. All right. In, out. All right. So we'll do this roughly 20 breaths, but I usually don't count. It's kind of part of the experience to be a little less logical and a little less mind connected and a little more body focused to not worry about counting. So I don't count. But stand a comfortable distance between your feet. Have some buoyancy in your knees. And let's begin. Last one. And then just pause, fold it about halfway forward. With your knees a little bit bent, your forearms resting on your thighs. Just let your energy start to settle back down. You may have heard me say this before, but this particular breathing practice kind of feels like you're inside a snow globe and it's just been shaken up. And now you've got a few moments, a few breaths to kind of settle back down. All right, when you're ready, gradually come to stand. And then we'll step the left foot forward on the mat towards the top of the mat, towards the short edge of the mat. Step the right foot back. So your right toes are going to turn out just a little bit. Bring your arms forward. Let the palms touch. All right, so still landing in this relative stillness. Notice the weight distribution between your 2 feet, the connection of your palms, and just notice if there's an imbalance anywhere. Is one of your hands pushing harder than the other? Do you have more weight in one foot or the other? And see, is it possible to balance it out so that there's a sense that the left side of your body is supporting the right side and vice versa. All right, we'll be twisting to the left here, so take a breath in. Exhale as you twist, sending that left arm out and back. 2 more times like that. Inhale the palms back together. Exhale, twist to the left. All right, 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, pause in the twist, turn your head to look back towards your left palm. All right, as you now bring your left hand forward to meet that right hand, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. And then as you're pressing your palms up toward the ceiling, shift your weight forward so that you're mostly on the left foot. And then step the right foot forward so that you've got maybe just a small amount of weight in that right foot, in the ball of the right foot. All right, keep pressing the palms up and the left foot down into the floor, taking as much weight as you can into your left foot. So that might mean that the right foot stays on or close to the floor. If you're feeling pretty steady and you want a little bit more challenge, lift your right thigh up, or your whole leg really, so that your thigh is parallel to the floor. If this right foot is not connected to any surface, activate the foot as though it is. So just imagine that your right foot is pushing onto a surface, even if the right foot is lifted up. All right, take 3 more breaths. And then after your 3rd breath, release your arms, release your foot. Give yourself a little shake out. And then we'll do the other side, starting with that twist. So the right foot will be forward. Step your left foot back. Left toes are turning out a little bit. Arms come forward, palms touch. Again, before we move, let yourself be present in this relative stillness. Check in with both of your feet. Can you find a sense of balance of the amount of weight in each foot? Check in with your palms, your hands. Is the left side balancing the right side and vice versa, or is one hand pushing harder? Can you balance it out? All right, deep breath in. Exhale, twist to the right so that your right arm goes out and back. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms back together. Exhale, twist to the right. All right, 1 more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now pause in the twist. Turn your head to look back towards your right hand. Couple rounds of breath. All right, now bring the right hand forward. Palms come together, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up toward the ceiling. Gradually shift your weight forward onto the right foot. Take your left foot just a little bit forward. Very little weight in the left foot. Take as much weight as you can into your right foot as you start to find balance. Again, maybe the left foot stays just lightly touching the floor. Maybe you lift the leg up. Bring your thigh parallel to the floor. Activate your left foot if it's up off the floor, as though you were pushing into something with that foot. All right, 3 rounds of breath. All right, after your 3rd breath, release your arms, release your leg, give yourself a shake out. It's especially important if you're over the age of 18 to give yourself a silly shake out and connect with your inner child. All right, so from here, Feet about hip distance apart. Palms together in front of the heart. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you fold. Bend your knees. Take your hands to the floor. Walk your feet back. One more time to downward dog. Relax your face and jaw. All right, as you come down to your knees, come all the way down onto your back. And as you come onto your back, hug both knees in toward your chest. Give them a squeeze. A little rock from side to side. All right, let both knees drop over to the right side. Send your left arm back over to the left so that your left arm is gently reaching away from your knees. You might rest your right hand on your top knee or your thigh. Gently sway the head from side to side. Let the head and neck land wherever it is comfortable in this moment. Again, feeling the expansive quality of your inhalation. What parts of your body are actually expanding as you breathe in? A sense of spreading or broadening. Then when you breathe out, what parts of your body are landing into support? Landing into a feeling of being grounded and connected. All right, one more breath. All right, and then ease your legs back to center. We'll twist to the other side. So let your knees fall over to the left side, and then sweep the right arm over towards the right. Again, gently sway the head a few times side to side. Let the head and neck land wherever it's comfortable. Again, just simply connecting with your breath. Allowing this moment to be simple as you observe and feel and connect. All right, take one more breath. And then as you guide your legs back to center, release the feet to the floor, but step them wider than your hips and drop your knees in toward each other. And then just let your hands rest where it's comfortable for you. So it might be hands on the belly or hands on the floor. And we'll conclude our practice today with square breathing. So if you think about the shape of a square, it has 4 equal sides in terms of their length. So if you think about the breath in the same way, you've got the inhale and exhale, the obvious parts, but then there's the pause in between inhale, exhale, in between exhale, inhale. And so these 4 parts, the inhale, and then the holding the breath in, the exhale, and then holding the breath out, let them all be the same length. So I often count to 4, but you could count to another number if you prefer. And just allow the length of the inhale, and then the retention, and then the exhale, and the retention to all be the same length. So you might count to 4 as you breathe in, hold your breath in for 4, exhale for 4, and hold the breath out for 4. All right, so you can begin when you're ready. Allow the body to be relatively at rest. And if you're not comfortable with your knees dropping in toward each other, maybe you take your knees apart with your feet together instead, or straighten out your legs on the mat. All right, so begin your square breathing when you're ready. Inhaling to 4. Hold it in for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold the breath out for 4. And then continue at your own speed of breathing. And so after the next time that you exhale, just release the counting and the controlling of your breath so that you once again just begin to observe and experience your breath, but without controlling it. And depending on what's happening next in your day, you might stay here a little bit longer, observing your breath, observing your body, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions. But if you're ready to move on to whatever your day next contains, bring one arm up alongside your head, roll to that side, pause for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, press up and back into your seated position. And so as you come back into your seated position, we'll join our palms in front of the heart. As we bow to the light within ourselves, we also bow to the light within each other. Thank you again for practicing with me today, whether you're here live or on the replay. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.